Welcome, everyone, to the Staff and Diversity Leaders session of the Presidential Listening Tour on the Health Sciences campus. On behalf of Chair Raymond Burse and the search committee, we appreciate you taking time out of your day to chat with us about the President's search. This is an opportunity to ask questions and share with us what you want to see in the next leader of our university. The search committee will use feedback from all these sessions to create a leadership statement, job description for the presidency, and to inform decisions made during the search process. If you're in person, you would like to speak, simply raise your hand. The microphones are located in either aisle. If you're toward the back, remember this is a question and answer participatory session. If you want to move down to where the microphones are more accessible to you, please feel free to do so now before we get started, but don't let that inhibit your ability to get up and make a comment at any time. If you're online, raise your hand in Teams. We will unmute you so you can speak to us directly. You may also use the chat feature in Teams and we will read your comment or question aloud. We will alternate between the in-person and online comments and questions. To ensure as much participation as possible, we will allow 5 to 7 minutes per topic. Before we begin, I'd like to recognize John Thornburg and Ryan Crawford from our search firm, Witt Kiefer, who are here. They're also available for questions. If you have questions about the process, their role in things or things that they can answer, we will certainly include them in the meeting as well. With that, if there are no questions to begin, we can begin.
So to begin our questioning, we just want to talk to you all about or hear from you about what's distinctive about the history, the mission, and the culture here at U of L. What would you say is distinctive about our history, our mission, and our culture? Yeah, come on. And if you could say your name and where you are in the university.
My name's Lisa Warner. I'm the Assistant Vice President of Development for the Health Science Center campus. And what is most distinctive about our university is the true cardinal principle of community of care. We actively live that on many facets, through students, through faculty, through staff. And that is one thing that I believe in the donors and with our students that we all take pride in.
Thank you. Any other thoughts on history, mission, culture?
All right, we'll move on and we'll tell you, we have 5 set questions, talking points, kind of things that we'll throw out, but we're going to finish with an open-ended question to make sure if there's something you wanted to talk about that we didn't bring up, that you have that opportunity at the end. So our next topic will be, what are the top 4 to 6 academic, strategic, operational, financial priorities that the next president should be expected to focus on, especially maybe during their first 1 or 2 years? What do we want our next president to hit the ground running with? And it could be anything. It's not limited to the 4. Those were just examples to throw out. Could be anything.
Hi, my name is Lisa Floor and I'm in radiology, and I hope they focus on online learning for students, more availability for commuting students.
In some of our other sessions, there's been some pretty good discussions around financial priorities. Does anybody want to make any comments revolving university budget, finances, anything along those lines?
Go ahead.
Lisa, you just stay right at that seat.
Hi, it's me again. I really hope for a completion of the compensation study for staff. That maybe this one will be the final compensation study and, it'll be completed in a good outcome.
Okay, let me piggyback off this question since we are on the HSC campus. Are there any specific HSC priorities that you think that the next president should focus on in the next 1 to 2 years? Like specific needs of this campus?
Yeah,
No UK fans, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
I'm David Young. I'm the research manager for the Environment Institute. And as I'm sure most of us are aware on this campus, U of L's growth as a research institution has been quite phenomenal, at least in the 20 plus years that I've been here. I'd like to see us continue to focus with that and then focus on community health, in particular, what we've done by sort of, reaffirming our commitment to the U of L hospital system and the U of L health system has really made a huge difference to the community. And of course, in addition, there are, health sciences campus is just going to work a little differently than Belknap campus because so much is either clinical or research based as opposed to purely academic. So I'd like the next president to, to keep that in mind.
Mhm.
Nobody online?
Glenn Giddings said that he would think that the maturation of U of L health and university relationship to spur growth and service to the institution, city, and region.
Sorry. On the health science campus, I would like to see an increased amount of security. A feeling that we walk from place to place, from U of L Hospital, myself, for instance, to Jewish daily, supporting our faculty. I would like to see a larger, I know we're in the middle of the city, but it would mean a lot if we felt more secure walking to and from places. That would be helpful.
On the fifth?
Mhm, right.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on this topic before we move forward? Okay.
All right. And thinking about the next university president, what are the career experiences or academic and leadership competencies that you hope that they would have? Like, what would you hope to see on their CV or their resume?
I feel one of the most important parts is having that academic medical center background or working in an infrastructure where that has been a part of a university before.
Let me throw out a second part to this question that's come up at some of the other listening sessions that I think has been an interesting discussion. A number of other universities have gone outside of academia and hired presidents that have been very successful in their role. Should we be considering a wide range of applicants regardless of where they're coming from, or should we only be looking at academia? I'm thinking of of Purdue and some other places that have gone outside of academia and really hired some people that have done an outstanding job. It's been an interesting conversation in other sessions. I'd like to know what some of you think about that. Lisa, I told you just to stay down here.
The biggest thing for me, I hope we get a person who is vested in the success of our university, who wants to see the university be successful. And if they do not have an academic background, they could be business related, but somehow be related to our community in Louisville. I think with everyone here at the university who could give them guidance on the academic side, if they had a strong business side, I think they would be successful. I just think it's important that whoever comes looks at the university as a place that this is my university and a place that I want to fix and I want to better, and that they stay for a little bit, at least.
So the term stability keeps coming up. Is that kind of where you're going, Lisa?
Yes.
Good evening. I prefer someone from an academic background. I think from the standpoint of professional education, as far as law school, medical school, dental school, it's very important that we increase our research funding. And I think that's very important, and someone that has a vision for that. Yes, here in Louisville, there's a lot of emphasis. Of course, we want somebody to stay, and has been a lot of emphasis on the business side in other arenas, and I think we're really good at that. I think that's important. However, I think the academic background needs to be the focus and stronger for this university. So that's my stand on that.
I know we'd like stability, but the stability issue has also raised interesting discussions in other sessions because a really, really strong candidate might be a trap. Like we knew when we hired Neely that we were going to be in this room. Maybe we might be 6 months, a year and a half earlier than we thought we were going to be in this room again, but we really thought we were going to be in this room because we knew we were hiring a rising star. And if you do that, other people are going to be attracted to that, to your candidate, right? So, but that generates an interesting discussion about, is there a trade-off between stability and the strongest candidate? So if anybody has anything that they'd like to offer on that, we'd like to hear that. Or I can start calling on people online.
Yolanda online stated that having worked in both academia and private sector, I think it would be wise to look in all sectors.
All right, our next question, our next talking point kind of builds on the last one. The last question we were talking about career experiences, academic leadership, those kind of things. We want to shift that and move to what kind of interpersonal skills and personal qualities do you think would best equip someone to be our next president, to work within our university, within our region, within our state, with our legislature, things like that. So what kind of person do you want to see in our next president? Sure.
one of the interesting things when talking about stability, and you said you knew we might be in this room 6 months from now because we hired this rising star. We had that same incident with the chairman, our chairman. So the question for me, either a person, I want a person who's really all in. I understand you have different goals and different stages in your career, but let's just say right now, for this moment, for this time, are you really all in? I mean, in your personality, are you really invested in the growth, the long-term growth of this city and this state and our vision, as opposed to having a person that's more centered on their goals and their career goals versus the common goals of a university? And I understand because we're in academia again, and we have these personal 5-year goals, 10-year goals, 20-year goals, and if you're tenured, not tenured. But at the end of the day, I want a person that's less selfish and more non-selfish, I guess, on us. Because one of the beauties about Kentucky, it's a state that's a little different from, I can't compare it to any state in the country, just where we're located, what we have to offer, what we're doing. And so I want someone that has a vision for our state that's all in, unselfish, and of course can, vision is very important to me, but that can really work across the board for, in all spectrums, regardless. And we usually have people, I mean, I'm not saying that, so I ain't gonna say what we usually have. That's what I would like then, someone in that category for me. Because a lot of people come to Kentucky like they're passing through. It's a great state. We like you, but it's almost like passing through. So I don't want a person who's passing through coming in or thinking they may be passing through, but someone that's all in.
Another session, oh, yeah, that deserves claps. Yes, go ahead. In other sessions, we've heard that a lot of staff and faculty are tired of being like the launching pad university. So it kind of goes along with your comment. And so this morning in my office, we were talking about the stability trade-off thing, and we were akinning it to dating and how when you, do you settle for someone who's maybe not as attractive because you know other people won't come steal them from you? Or do you know, date someone who's attractive, knowing that there's other people out there to come for them, and like, where's that line, right? You know, we don't want to feel like we're settling, but we do want to feel like we're secure with our person. That seems to be a theme. Is that kind of where we're going with that?
Why did you point at me when you said that?
I would never say you are settling, John. You're a prize. Any more thoughts on interpersonal skills, personal qualities? We've heard integrity come up. We've heard transparency. Anything along those lines?
We have a comment online from Ruby Keith. We need someone who is relatable, both faculty and staff, and able to work in and with the community and city. I agree with the comment made about someone willing to be all in and stay with us and not a stepping stone. It's a tall order, but that person has to be out there.
Anything else on personal qualities? Okay.
All right, so our last kind of just scheduled question, and then we can open it up. What are the selling points that you all think will compel the most attractive candidates to choose this opportunity? And these can be selling points of the university, selling points of the city. Why would somebody choose here over all of their options?
Well, that's kind of disheartening. Well, I know. I'll start it off. I'll just throw some things out there. I think the combination of a strong undergraduate program combined with the Health Science Center campus combined with Research One level recognition is a pretty unique combination, and that should be attractive to a lot of people. You know, I would think so. That combination is a big deal to me. The other thing that I always go to that I think is a reflection of our faculty and staff is we're doing all those things with a student population that's 40% Pell eligible, and I think that's an incredible accomplishment and a powerful statement. And I would hope that candidates for this job would look at that 40% Pell eligible combined with the things we're accomplishing and saying, man, this is a pretty go get them kind of place, you know, to be doing those things. So that's a big deal to me.
We have a comment from Glenn Giddings. He said, I think the HSC campus and the amazing research and innovations, plus the health system, is a strong draw. And then Carrie Whitmore, regarding the previous question about interpersonal skills, states, I agree that someone needs to be relatable to the staff and also someone who is dynamic and inspires the university with hope and vision. I think this is in alignment with the comment that we had that we need a person who is all in.
I'd really like to hear some more. I think all of us would like to hear some more on this because I think this is a really important question. Because I think, and John and Ryan, I think would echo this, I think our candidate pool is going to be a lot different this time because we're in a way different place than we were 3.5 years ago when we did this search the last time. I think the candidate pool is going to be deeper and I think it's going to be stronger. And John and Ryan both would tell you that probably the best candidates are candidates that they go out and recruit, not just candidates that see an advertisement and respond, right? So I think it's important we take this conversation deeper for John and Ryan, for them to take things out of this meeting when they're reaching out to people who may be some of the more viable, stronger candidates so that they have more things to tell them. So other things that people would put out there.
I think right now, the university, I've been here, this is my 25th year since graduating from medical school. And one of the things I think the university right now is very open to really creating a diverse base here. I think the time is right we talk about diversity and I'm talking about being inclusive and diverse, but I think the university is really sensitive to that right now. And we have things in place. And with that, because I'm again from medical school, I'm just saying, the University of Louisville School of Medicine was desegregated in 1950, and the first African-American physician stepped foot in 1951. So with that being said, however, we need more leadership to reflect that diversity. And so I think we need a candidate, we need a candidate that's really sensitive to that movement, and also at a time when the university is very sensitive to creating more diverse leaders here at the university from the medical school side, the dental school side, and professional schools. With that being said, I think for me, again, with that in mind, I think one of the things about Louisville, again, we have so many untapped resources and opportunities, like people who are growing in their career or in the middle of their career. I think they can have some places that they really can make a difference and do something that no one has ever done before in Louisville. You know, we created Rhodes Scholars years ago. Is there going to be something else in that lane that someone can create and make a difference? You know, is that going to be the most prestigious scholarship opportunity, something back in those days? I'm just saying it's a very ripe city that's so There's nothing like, no one like Louisville, so untapped, even though it's making progress. So I think we're just ripe to have somebody with an open vision, an open mind to make some inroads in diversity leadership on a more wide scale level, because we're open to that, and some other opportunities that we're not even thinking about. I think people are so receptive for the next great movement. Thank you.
So if my math is correct, you graduated medical school when you were 1? Just kidding. Any other last comments or things we didn't get to, or specifically the selling points of why someone would want to come and lead this HSC campus? I'm sure there's lots of great things you all are doing that would be selling points to someone too.
I can't do the stairs, but I've
Yeah.
been here 34 years and I don't think we've ever had a university president.
They can't hear you.
Yeah, the folks on Teams won't be able to hear you. Just one moment.
I've been here for over 30 years and we've never had, as far as I can remember, a university president who was really invested in the health sciences. I don't remember anybody. I saw Dr. Bendaputi on this campus maybe once or twice. I'm sure she was here more, but Dr. Ramsey maybe once or twice at an ice cream social or something. They're just, their presence is not on this campus and always has been as far as I know.
Oh.
So Reese, I want to tag on to the question you were asking and ask it a different way, because all of you in this room are here because you care, you took the time to come, and you could be somewhere else, not just right now, but you could be working somewhere else. So when you're thinking about why would somebody choose to be here, why are you here?
Hold on 1 second. We're gonna Vanna White the mic to you so the online people can hear.
Yeah, we'll bring it around, and then Lisa, if you just want to bring it down when you get it. We can hear in the room just fine. The problem is the folks on Teams won't be able to hear anyone.
You're welcome. Sorry about that. I truly believe Louisville is a hidden gem. And up to this point, I've been here almost 5 years, and the marketing and sharing our uniqueness is finally coming out. And the attraction and the research, there are many just in this community that have no idea the cutting edge research that we're doing and how that is just moving forward with the complex care that we can give in so many different fields and specialties in this area, and even in general practitioners and internal medicine. The people that are here in this room, a lot of us have been here for a while, and we came when things with President Ramsey and the athletics, and we all stayed dedicated. We all stayed dedicated to the cause. I think the best thing you could do is have the president candidates meet the people, because I feel like our faculty and leadership are here and not, it's so much more than a job in Louisville. And so we need to make sure that we are familiar and comfortable with the president and can feel that engagement from both sides. And I feel like we have a good read. Our faculty and leadership have a good read on that. And staff.
And staff. Can't forget staff.
I think that's a good, what you were getting at, I think is a good point. I recently read an article, it was actually in a real estate publication of some kind, but Louisville has some crazy high statistic, and Jerry Abramson can probably speak to this way better than I can, but Louisville has some crazy high statistic of people that come here intending to be here 3 to 5 years as a next step kind of place, and then they end up being here their entire career and retiring and raising their families here and that kind of thing. I forgot what the national average and what the Louisville statistic was, but it was ridiculously higher than comparable cities of our size around the nation of people who did that. That speaks volumes, and I think to community as a whole. And I think what Mary said earlier about probably everybody in this room could be somewhere else, but there is something powerful about being part of a group with that common shared passion for something, right?
So we have 2 comments online and also a question for the search firm representatives itself. So we'll save that one for last. And any other comments related to the search firm, we'll hold those to last. But Chris Wooten said that a commitment to the university, all in, so to speak, has to be a factor for who defines the best and most qualified candidate. There's been too much transition at that level in too short of a time. Yes, with 7,000 plus employees across 3 campuses, U of L is more than its president, but continuity is critical for short-term and long-term planning. And then Glenn stated that since it's been so long since the previous capital campaign, this candidate also has a great opportunity to launch a new capital campaign to connect strategic goals as well as reach for innovative opportunities.
If there's no more comments, we can ask the search firm and have them.
Sure, it's just a question about what's the anticipated timeline and process.
Good afternoon again. My name is John Thornburg. I'm a senior partner with Witt Kiefer. And I'll take this opportunity to answer a couple of questions that you had, or a couple of comments and observations. This has been very insightful for us. One of the themes I heard you say is the importance of candidates in your next president appreciating the value and role of a health sciences center. That's a priority for us. Our firm specializes only in 3 areas of leadership recruiting: higher education, healthcare, and academic medicine. So we have a deep appreciation for people who are leaders in all those sectors. And your president may come from any one of those. But the importance is they have fluency in health sciences and understand the role and value of this enterprise. So we're going to be making that a priority in our outreach. In terms of the process, this is just getting organized as we speak. Ryan and I have spent the last 2 days doing a lot of listening and learning, and we're going to be working with the search committee in the next couple of weeks to synthesize what we've heard into a list of priorities that we're going to use in our recruiting and that the committee will use in their evaluation of candidates. We'll probably launch our recruiting over the summer, and our recruiting is really accomplished through a mix of different tactics. Certainly there's advertising, where we put the awareness in a lot of journals and related venues for people to understand that this position is open. But the most viable candidates, as John had inferred, are people who aren't even thinking about leaving their current role. They're happy where they are. They may not even know that this position is out there, and we target them through our knowledge of their backgrounds and their institutions. We'll develop a very deep list of people who we'll reach out to and ultimately engage in one-on-one conversations and get them excited over the next a couple months and to build their investment in this opportunity. So by the time our work is done, we intend to come back to the committee in the early fall with what we expect will be a deep, robust, and diverse pool. Then the committee will do its work and interview and ultimately make a recommendation to the board. So we don't have dates per se, but those are the general sequences. Are there other questions that we can answer? Thank you.
All right, so we will, before we end, we just want to make one more general call for any topics or questions or comments that maybe we didn't hit during the session.
I'll just reiterate one more time the importance of the research we're doing here. One of our investigators at the university essentially coined the phrase environmental cardiology. And we've made huge strides in understanding how air pollution and other environmental exposures, affect, heart disease. But now we're branching out into, what we call the enviro. So it's not just environmental pollutants. We're going to be looking at how climate change, temperature, noise, all areas that are external to yourself, how that affects human health. And, quite frankly, this research, we're going to change the world. And I would really like, a candidate who's interested in being a part of, world changing research. So.
Thank you, David. All right. If there are no other questions or comments, we will conclude this listening tour session. On behalf of the search committee, thank you for all your thoughtful discussion today. If you have additional feedback to share or have any questions, there are two websites that you can go to and do that. One of them is uofl.me/PSC-feedback. That's a little convoluted, I know. So there's an easier one, Louisville.edu/presidential-search. We all know Louisville.edu, so just presidential-search will take you to a site where you can make any comments, ask any questions that you may think of. If you're like me, as soon as you leave the room, things pop in your head. Okay. With that, thank you all very much for being here. We appreciate your time, your input, your comments and questions.